The movie begins with Rebecca, a woman whose life once seemed perfect. She had a small, happy family, living peacefully with her husband Peter and their young son. Peter worked at a church and strongly believed in helping others through faith. He wanted Rebecca and their son to walk the same path, guiding people who believed in God. Rebecca trusted everything Peter said, and slowly, she too became deeply involved in the church, attending regularly with her son. But one tragic day changed everything. Peter took their son to a camp, and after returning, something unthinkable happened. Their son took his own life. This devastating loss shattered Rebecca completely. She lost all interest in life, stopped caring about everything around her, and even walked away from the church. Unable to handle the pain, she turned to drugs to numb her grief. Peter, who was respected in society and known for his strong beliefs, began to lose patience with Rebecca. Watching her spiral out of control, he finally gave her an ultimatum. He told her she had 1 year to fix herself, or he would leave her. Rebecca loved Peter deeply and could not imagine losing him too. So, she made a decision. She would do whatever it took to become the person he wanted her to be. Peter handed over Rebecca's counseling to his friend Mary, who also worked at the church. After that, he moved out, deciding that he would only return once Rebecca had completely recovered. Time passed, and nearly a year went by without them being together. During this period, Rebecca's condition worsened in a different way. Although she had stopped using drugs, she began experiencing disturbing hallucinations. She started believing that someone was inside the house, watching her, stalking her, and planning to kill her. Every night, she felt like someone would enter the house and sit inside Peter's office. Terrified, she tried telling everyone about it. She called Peter and explained everything. She even told Mary, hoping someone would believe her. But no one did. Mary dismissed her fears, and Peter became even more frustrated. He accused her of still using drugs, saying that these visions were just a result of her bad habits. Hearing this repeatedly from everyone, Rebecca slowly began to doubt herself. She started thinking that maybe they were right. Maybe these were just hallucinations caused by her depression and anxiety. For a few days, things seemed normal once she convinced herself of that. But the fear never truly left her. One day, she again felt that someone had entered the house, and this time, she was certain that the person was inside Peter's office. Terrified, she tried calling Peter, but he didn't answer. In panic, she sent him a message, saying that she felt like a thief had broken into the house and that she might kill him. Shaking with fear, Rebecca grabbed a gun and sat silently on her bed. Suddenly, she heard a sound near her door. Acting on instinct, she rushed out with the gun in her hand. But instead of an intruder, she found Peter standing at the entrance. Shocked and frightened, she ran to him and begged him to believe her. She insisted that someone had broken into the house and was trying to kill her. Peter, trying to calm the situation, searched the entire house thoroughly, including his office. But there was no sign of anyone. This made him furious. He started yelling at Rebecca, accusing her of lying and insisting that she hadn't truly changed. He blamed everything on her supposed drug use, saying it was affecting her mind. Rebecca broke down and promised him that she had not used any substances for the past year. She told him that Mary had been counseling her and that she had genuinely improved. She pleaded with him, saying she wanted to be with him and was trying her best to change. But Peter refused to believe her. Angry and disappointed, Peter left the house, reminding her that she only had a few months left. If she didn't improve, he would leave her for good. The next day, Rebecca is seen working in the garden, trying to distract herself. But even there, she feels something unsettling. It feels like a shadow inside the house is watching her. At that moment, Mary arrives. Rebecca immediately tells her about what she is feeling, hoping for support. But Mary ignores her fears and instead starts reading Bible verses, trying to calm her spiritually rather than addressing her concerns. During their conversation, Rebecca receives a message from Peter saying he will visit her that day. Hearing this fills Rebecca with happiness. She has been waiting for this moment for a long time. She feels like Peter finally remembers her. Excited, she prepares everything. She cleans the entire house, decorates it, and cooks all of Peter's favorite dishes, hoping to make him happy. That night she waits eagerly, and finally Peter arrives. Rebecca is overwhelmed with joy, thinking everything might go back to normal. but her happiness is shattered within seconds. Peter hasn't come to reunite with her. He has come with divorce papers. He coldly asks her to sign them, telling her he no longer wants to be with her. Rebecca is completely devastated. She begs him not to do this. She tells him she has changed, that she has left drugs behind, and that she is ready to follow him and return to the church. But Peter refuses to listen. This leads to a heated argument between them. In anger, Peter blames Rebecca for their son's death, saying it was her negligence that caused it. Hearing this, Rebecca fights back. She reminds him that their son had gone to the camp with him and that he was perfectly happy before that trip. She demands to know what really happened at that camp that pushed their son to take his own life. The argument intensifies, with both of them shouting at each other. Finally, Peter makes it clear that his decision is final. He will not stay with her. Rebecca, who has already lost her son and now faces losing her husband too, feels completely broken and alone. With no one left in her life, she reaches a breaking point. In desperation, she takes out a pistol from her drawer, presses it against her head, and threatens to end her life. In the middle of their heated argument, a sudden, terrifying scream echoes through the house. The sound is so unnatural and loud that both Rebecca and Peter freeze in fear. It doesn't sound human at all. For a moment, even Peter realizes that something is seriously wrong. The fear in the air is so intense that both of them are left completely shaken. Rebecca immediately stops arguing and tells Peter that this is exactly what she had been trying to explain all along. She insists that there is something inside the house, a shadow that has been living there ever since he left. She says it has been stalking her, trying to harm her, and that she has been living in constant fear while everyone thought she was just imagining things. This time, Peter takes her words a bit more seriously and begins searching the entire house carefully. But after checking every corner, he finds nothing. Despite everything, he still believes it could be a misunderstanding. Rebecca, however, refuses to accept that explanation. She tells him there is no way both of them could be hearing the same things if it wasn't real. Terrified and desperate, Rebecca pleads with Peter to stay with her for the night. Seeing her fear, Peter agrees. Later, Rebecca prepares food for him and serves it with hope that things might finally get better. But as Peter begins to eat, Rebecca suddenly sees something horrifying. In a blink of an eye, all the food turns black, and Peter's face also appears dark and lifeless, as if he has become something evil. Frightened beyond words, she stares at him. Peter notices her fear and gently calls her to sit beside him. When Rebecca looks again, everything is normal. Peter looks completely fine. He tries to calm her down, telling her that she is letting her fear control her mind. He suggests that they should pray together, believing it will make everything better. Rebecca agrees, hoping it might bring her some peace. As they begin praying, Rebecca suddenly notices something upstairs. The door to Peter's office is open, and she feels like something has entered inside. She screams in fear. This time, even Peter hears the sound of the door closing. For the first time, he begins to believe that something might actually be there. He grabs his gun and slowly walks upstairs toward his office. As he reaches the door, he tries to open it, but no matter how hard he tries, the door refuses to move. It feels as if something powerful is holding it shut from the inside. Realizing this, Peter begins reciting prayers while holding onto the door. Suddenly, from inside, another horrifying scream erupts, even louder than before. The sound shakes the entire house. Peter loses his balance and falls to the ground. Around them, paintings fall off the walls and objects begin crashing down. The house itself seems to react to whatever is inside that room. Rebecca is now convinced that there is something evil inside the house, something that doesn't want them there. She understands that staying any longer could cost them their lives. She quickly grabs Peter's hand and urges him to leave the house immediately. Peter follows her outside but suddenly stops. Instead of running away, he begins thinking differently. He asks Rebecca why all of this is happening in his house. He starts believing that this might be a sign from God, that he has been chosen for something greater. He says this could be his calling, a mission to face and defeat whatever power is inside. Rebecca is shocked by this change in him. She begs him not to go back inside, but Peter refuses to listen. He becomes determined to face whatever is in that room. Not wanting to leave him alone, Rebecca gathers her courage and decides to go with him despite her fear. As Peter approaches the office door again, he touches it and tries to open it. At that exact moment, lightning strikes outside, hitting the garden and setting it on fire. Terrified, Rebecca runs outside to put out the flames. After witnessing this, she refuses to go back inside and tries once again to stop Peter. But Peter is completely convinced that this is another sign from God. He believes he has been given a divine task and is determined to complete it. Rebecca realizes that whatever is in the house has already started affecting Peter's mind. He is no longer thinking clearly. Left with no choice, she goes back inside with him. While moving through the house, she goes to the bathroom, hoping to gather herself. But inside, she sees something horrifying. From the bathtub, a massive black hand slowly emerges, reaching toward her, ready to grab her. Just as it is about to touch her, a loud crashing sound echoes from outside. The hand suddenly disappears. Shaken, Rebecca rushes out of the bathroom and sees Peter standing there with both his hands bleeding. He has smashed glass with his bare hands. Even more disturbing, he is using his own blood to paint symbols on the office door. Confused and scared, Rebecca asks him what he is doing. Peter, with a strange calmness, tells her that there are angels behind the door. He believes they have come to him, that they want to give him powers and assign him a special mission. He explains that the angels asked for his blood, and he willingly gave it to them. In return, he believes he will receive something greater. Hearing this, Rebecca realizes that Peter has completely lost his sense of reality. She understands that no divine force would ever demand such a sacrifice. Suddenly, the entire house begins to shake violently. The lights go out, plunging everything into darkness. And then, from behind the office door, a strange, glowing light begins to shine, making the situation even more terrifying. Rebecca finally understands the horrifying truth. Whatever is inside the house is not some unknown force. It is Satan itself, and this time, it has taken over their home. Terrified, she once again begs Peter to stop and not give his blood. But Peter refuses to listen. He throws his blood beneath the door, and in an instant, the blood disappears. Suddenly, dark energy begins to leak out from under the door. A powerful force emerges and violently knocks down the crucifix hanging nearby, as if rejecting anything holy. At the same time, Peter begins to change. Rebecca watches in shock as his wounds start healing on their own. Peter bursts into hysterical laughter, overwhelmed with excitement as he feels power rushing through him. But his body cannot handle it. Within moments, he collapses and loses consciousness. Realizing that the house has now become even more dangerous, Rebecca quickly takes Peter and rushes him to her friend Mary's house. Once there, they explain everything that has happened. Mary struggles to believe their story. Rebecca insists that their house is filled with demonic shadows, while Peter claims that angels gave him powers. Hearing two completely different explanations confuses Mary. Still, she senses that something serious must have happened to both of them. She tells them to rest for the night and promises to discuss everything in the morning. That night, as Rebecca sleeps, she feels something terrifying again. It feels like a huge demonic presence is choking her throat. Gasping for air, she wakes up in fear, only to find no one around her. Panicked, she goes to check on Peter, but he is not in his room. Even more strangely, Mary is missing too. Rebecca immediately fears the worst. Thinking Peter might have taken Mary back to the house, she rushes there, desperate to save them. As she approaches the house, she sees something horrifying. Peter and Mary are standing together, interacting with the same dark power. She runs inside and shouts at them, asking what they are doing. Peter turns toward her with excitement and tells her that now she finally knows the truth. He reveals that these are not divine powers but demonic ones, and shockingly, he has been worshiping them since childhood. He tries to convince Rebecca to join him. He explains that all they need to do is offer their blood, and in return, the demon will grant them anything they desire. To prove his point, he points at Mary, who is now following his instructions. Rebecca is completely shaken and doesn't know what to do. She knows this is wrong, and her only instinct is to run. But Peter stops her. Mary warns Rebecca not to refuse, saying that anyone who denies this power faces terrible consequences. She reminds Rebecca of her son, hinting that he had refused the same way. At that moment, Rebecca realizes something horrifying. These people were responsible for her son's death. Peter then forces Rebecca to watch as Mary prepares to offer her blood. Mary cuts her wrist and lets the blood flow beneath the door. Within seconds, she collapses from the blood loss. Then, from under the door, a dark shadow emerges and drags Mary's unconscious body inside. Seeing this, Rebecca is completely terrified and tries to escape. But Peter stops her again and calmly tells her that it is now her turn. She runs downstairs, but suddenly, Peter appears in front of her without even using the stairs. His transformation is complete. He is no longer human. He has become something else. With no escape left, Rebecca locks herself inside the bathroom. From outside, Peter speaks to her, telling her that running won't help. He urges her to come out and offer her blood, promising that everything will return to normal afterward. Then he reveals the truth about their son. Peter admits that at the camp, he tried to introduce their son to these powers. But the boy refused, just like Rebecca is refusing now. Because of that, Peter says he had no choice but to kill his own son, as the demon had commanded him to do it. Hearing this breaks Rebecca completely. But instead of fear, it fills her with rage. She realizes the full truth and becomes determined to take revenge. Gathering her courage, she opens the bathroom door and tells Peter that she is ready to follow his instructions and give her blood. Peter believes her and takes her upstairs to perform the ritual. As he begins explaining what she needs to do, Rebecca suddenly grabs his gun and shoots him. Peter collapses instantly. The moment he dies, the house begins to shake violently again. The door opens on its own, and dark forces emerge from inside. They drag Peter's body into the room. What happens to him beyond that door is never shown, but a horrifying sound echoes from within. After that, everything suddenly becomes silent. The house returns to normal, as if nothing had ever happened. Rebecca realizes that the demon's presence was tied to Peter. With his death, the evil has left the house. Now Rebecca is finally safe, but she is completely alone. With no family left, she accepts her fate and decides to live the rest of her life by herself. And with that, the story of the film comes to an end.